Yes, the biggest club knockout tournament in Europe is at the semi-final stage, and that is how we start this edition of the SportsMax Zone. The European juggernauts and 14-time Champions League winners Real Madrid hosting Manchester City, who are looking to break their hoodoo and win their first ever Champions League title. Let's see how the highly anticipated first leg played out Tuesday in the Spanish capital.
Manchester to come. First it's Madrid, with both teams setting their sights firmly on the final in Istanbul. Bernardo Silva taking on Camavinga. De Bruyne, Courtois down to save. The first effort on target.
Had a lot of success recently, City, with this ball that's cut back a little bit to the edge of the box. Ilkay Gundogan got a couple like that at the weekend against Leeds United in the English Premier League. That one, routine stop, really.
Rodri, Bernardo Silva checked his run. Rodri had a go, and Courtois' hand was strong enough to get it behind. Haaland to De Bruyne. Haaland on the move. Rudiger didn't know where he was just for a moment. And the shot is straight at Courtois, who is becoming a busy goalkeeper.
Yeah.
He's taking on Dani Carvajal. Valverde tries to help. Grealish gets the cross in. Haaland's header. And it's another effort on target. Courtois, well, that was easy for him. The man who came on and won the game for Real Madrid last year. Benzema beaten to it by Ederson. Real nearly got that just wrong.
This was that lovely little thread from Rodrigo to try and find Karim Benzema. Great run, timed it beautifully, but just wasn't able to get there. Get your tactics wrong, someone step out of line, all of a sudden the game plan can change like that.
Well, Rodri has sold stone short, and Ruben Diaz had to stretch. It was nearly tap-in time for Benzema.
They get the header at the far post, but I'd like to see him get involved a little more.
Here's Camavinga, who's getting forward a little more. And Vincius Junior! Oh my goodness!
Brilliant play initially between Modric and Camavinga, and the left back then goes on a marauding 50-60 yard run. You have to close that gap. Ruben Diaz is standing there watching, just trying to make himself big. And before Ederson really takes off, before he sets himself to try and make a save, that ball has whistled past him into the back of the net. Fabulous hit.
He had to stretch out the right leg and pull it back a bit. Vincius Junior, Benzema, Carvajal forward, Benzema in.
And just here, these little rat-a-tat passes in these tight areas, and that's wonderful football. But it still took a lot from even someone like Karim Benzema to beat.
Poked through for Gundogan. Haaland's trying to time his run. Haaland in and stopped by a terrific challenge from David Alaba. Didn't get another go at it. Rodri marauding. Grealish. Gundogan with the turn. And he's not allowed to turn again. De Bruyne strike! Oh, that's wonderful! He got all of that! Kevin De Bruyne sends City's fans into delirium.
What a strike, and how it was needed. Watch that. I mean, we know how pure he can hit, and nobody will know better than Thibaut Courtois how well this guy strikes a ball. Nothing he can do about that.
See the Manchester City defensive line trying to keep them all out of the danger zone, but Benzema's found it. Good save, Ederson.
Because he might have been backpedaling. It looks like he might have been marginally offside. May have been better served to loop that one for Rudiger back across the goal, but really good work from Ederson.
Carvajal out of his feet. Camavinga with the touch. Benzema teeing up the shot.
Oh, what a hit.
That was a sizzler from Tchouaméni, and Ederson got across in the nick of time.
What a save. Brilliant strike from Tchouaméni. With very little backlift. It's not like he runs onto this. Look, he just has to wait for it, and he absolutely fires it beautifully in a fabulous one-handed save.
Well, there we are. 1-1 at the Estadio Santiago Bernabeu. Two terrific teams who have slugged it out from minute one.
Yes, an epic first leg showdown there between Man City and Real Madrid. Joining us to analyse what was a blockbuster game is our SportsMax ace in-house analyst, Leger Williams. Leger, so many stories over the 90 minutes. Let me start here, because the average fan will look at this and say Man City were able to avoid defeat away from home, and the advantage is with them now going to the Etihad. But you're not an average fan, you are a student of the game. Maybe you might not agree with that.
Well, actually, coincidentally, I do agree with that, judging by how the game went. City, they started the game really well. First 10 minutes, they were completely dominant, held the ball well, and most importantly, going against Madrid, as we've seen, how they're undone is not necessarily by keeping the ball against them, because very few can do that. You have to be able to upkeep the tempo and go to their tempo when attacking, and that's what City did really well early in the game. Created a couple of half chances. We saw one there for De Bruyne. Grealish created one as well early in the game. But then once Madrid began to settle into the game, I saw someone say that Madrid makes the game look, or the game flow look, how they want it to look. So once Madrid slowed down the game and then kind of lulled Man City into a false sense of security, they then began to break really quickly, began to create chances of their own. And they ended up taking one of those chances, and it was a real rocket by Vincius Jr., who quite honestly, he's the best winger in the world, not left winger, he's the best winger in world football, even at his young age, and he's continuing to prove that and again on the big stage.
Yeah, I want us to go to the Vincius goal. Let's review that goal, because it was a tremendous strike, and the build-up was impressive as well. Good flowing move forward.
Yeah.
But is there a question of the defenders for Manchester City not closing in on Vincius quickly enough to make shooting more difficult?
Yeah, that is a fair question. Nowadays in football, the defenders like to kind of trust that they're allowing these players to have a low quality shot, which a long shot is in essence, because that shot was worth less than 0.1 xg, only 0.04. So that's something that you want to allow. But when you have the striking quality of someone like Vincius Jr., for example, you would like for him to be closed down, especially in that scenario where they didn't have anyone running in behind to threaten. But in terms of that chance, that's a chance City would like to live with, in terms of, you know, allowing Real Madrid that chance. But it's no surprise the chance came from the left-hand side, came through Camavinga. Camavinga had a lovely game, I think, although he did make a mistake for the Man City goal. But for Real Madrid, he had the most touches, the most final third entries, the most duels won, the most possession won, the most tackles, fouls, and he created the most chances in addition to getting that assist. So at his young age, playing out of position, I think Camavinga had a lovely game for Madrid.
Yeah, definitely a lovely game. And as we talk about the goal scorers, I'll move on to Kevin De Bruyne. And of course, you know, Erling Haaland is the man. When we think about goals, you know, he's been having a beautiful season. 51 goal Haaland is what they're calling him right now. Despite that, you know, Haaland, despite getting a couple chances today, couldn't convert into a goal. However, Kevin De Bruyne, when he's there as well, and Lance made the point to me off camera, you know, Kevin De Bruyne has been the man before Erling Haaland came. He was able to get a chance today and, of course, capitalize on it to keep City in this.
Yeah, because that's really how it was going to look like City were going to get back into the game, especially in the second half, because I do think although City were the better team in the first half and Madrid got the goal, quite on the other side of the coin, Madrid were the better side in the second half and City got the goal through two excellent strikes, individual brilliance on both sides. Kevin De Bruyne, one of the best ball strikers in any aspect, passing and in especially shooting in the world, and he showed that that was an excellent strike. That's what coaches teach you how to do from your learning how to play football. So it was an excellent strike. He showed his world-class quality with that goal.
Madrid's aura in the Champions League, it's as if the Champions League belongs to them, and if somebody else wins it, it's because they really have to play genuinely good football. But when you think about the Champions League, you instantly say, okay, that's Real Madrid's won. Now the competition moves to the Etihad Stadium. A lot of talk about Manchester City having the advantage because they're at home. Haaland will, you know, score tons of goals at home and whatnot. Lishay, what are you thinking according to, you know, that comment?
Well, that's a very interesting take on it. I think that Madrid do tend to like to, well, any team would like to have the second leg at home so they can ride the momentum, especially when the first leg was a draw. And it's coincidental that you said that as well, because Madrid have only progressed of two in 2 of their last 9 knockout ties where they failed to win the first leg at home. Coincidentally, Sir Lance, I know you wouldn't like to hear this, but both of those times were against Manchester United, so maybe they have something against the Manchester teams. So, you know, but with that being said, Etihad, it has been a stamping ground for Man City this season. They're unbeaten at the Etihad in so many Champions League games. I don't remember the exact number at current. But Man City, they're unbeaten in 21 in all competitions as well. They'll feel confident going to that stadium. I think it will be very difficult for them to, Real Madrid, that being to stop Haaland the way that they did today. They were really aggressive, especially Antonio Rudiger. He was upping him the entire time, trying to stop him at source, so he didn't get a lot of space. And whenever he got the space, there was Alaba to sweep up, as we saw in the second half as well. So it was a real ding-dong battle in terms of a tactical edge, in terms of a ball-playing edge. So I'm expecting to see much more of that in the second leg.
Yeah, you mentioned Haaland there, and it's significant that he has a goal in every 58 minutes of UEFA Champions League football. He played 90 minutes today and didn't score. So kudos to the Real Madrid defensive organization that didn't allow him to flourish. But I want to mention something quickly before we leave this game, because Mariah mentioned earlier on about the Champions League. It's like it belongs to Real Madrid. They have such a stronger hold on it, and I want to say that because they had more possession today. They had more. Man City had more possession, had more shots on goal, had far more dangerous attacks than they did. But these are all statistics. When it comes down to the nitty gritty, Real Madrid just has something that allows them to survive and overcome all challenges.
And guys, this worries me, because this is the same team in La Liga that struggles to win some of the matches. I was wondering if different players are playing in the Champions League, but it's not.
It's different when it comes onto the different game states. So in the Champions League, as you mentioned, Man City are the calmest team in the world because they've been there and done that. Sir Lance, if someone comes to you with a journalism problem, there's no problem that you will not be prepared to face, because you've been there, you've done that, you know what it takes to fix those problems. It's just like that for Madrid in the Champions League. And to answer Maria in the league, Madrid don't necessarily rely on any tactical innovation. They don't rely on any steady form of tactics to get their wins. They usually rely on individual brilliance. In league formats, that's what you need. You need tactics because you need repeated quality to get those results. So sometimes Real Madrid may underperform in the league, unlike City, who use those tactics to their advantage. In knockout competitions, when you have quality, you have the Vini of the world, you have Benzema, you have Rodrigo, you have 2 of the best midfielders of all time in your midfield in Kroos and Modric, you're going to get results, and that's how Madrid have been doing it all these years, and I wouldn't put it past them to do it again. Yeah, well, we've got to leave it there. Don't forget that on Wednesday afternoon, it's the second semi-final, the first leg of the Italian clash between AC Milan and Inter Milan, and that will be on Wednesday afternoon. Not as intriguing, that clash, as this one is. Most people feel that this leg that we watched today will provide the Champions League winner, but it's football. Don't count the Italians out. Back with more on The Zone after this.